You're listening to the Lux Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should be living their best life, their Lux Life. The show is hosted by Rick Steiner with Steiner Event Group, a premier national event planning company, and co-hosted by Shannon Richmond, the Vice President of the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell to get notifications of future episodes. The show is produced by 30A Media and is broadcast on your favorite podcast outlets, as well as YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TVs, and other major brand smart TVs.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner, and welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My guests today are Keith and Shannon Thorne of Soldier Creek Vineyard. So welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It is going to be a fun podcast. I've looked forward to this ever since you guys said yes. So, because everybody needs to know about the two of you, because I'm going to be honest with you, when Debbie and I first met you guys, and y'all thought y'all were real reserved and real quiet, and man, I found out that's like as far from the truth as you can get. Y'all are always active with something. So before we talk about the vineyard, let's talk about some of your animals first. So,
well, we grew up not having any livestock. We always had dogs and cats and things like that. But at some point along the way, Shanna and Jaden were surfing Facebook one night and saw that one of our neighbors had a free horse for giveaway.
Yeah.
And so we made a deal for the free horse and started making provisions to build a little shelter and fence in an area and prepare for the free horse.
We had no place for the free horse to live.
So these kind of grew from there.
And she was taking riding lessons.
Yes.
So we thought the fit would be a free horse, riding lessons, build her a little shelter, and she'd be able to have her own horse. I think that's what all 10-year-old little girls want, is a horse.
Sure. And then Keith I have found the most talented craftsman that you could ever meet. I mean, there's nothing he can't do and doesn't do. So
That's true. He builds everything for us.
Yeah, the better for work. So I do it myself.
And so after the free horse, we've always taken trips to Shaker Village in Lexington. We would go once or twice a year. They had a Scottish Highland cow, a bull. His name was McDuffie. We ended up getting our daughter a stuffed animal of McDuffie. We would talk to McDuffie. And they always had pigs and chickens and ducks. And we always enjoyed going, just walking around.
It's just very peaceful. It's made us very relaxed, made us feel it was just a nice afternoon to go there sometime in the fall, just walk around, pet the animals, talk to the various craftsmen and stuff there.
Right.
It was just fun.
And so one night we were on our way to see McDuffie. And since we had this little shelter and a few little bit of fencing, I get to Googling, where can I find a Scottish Highland cow? Well, lo and behold, one popped up in Branson, Missouri. Her name was Dolly. I was sold. He called that night at 9 o'clock at night, and we bought Dolly over the phone.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's how Dolly evolved. It came about then. Okay.
So she's our mascot. Dolly is our mascot of the farm.
She's the face of the organization.
Right. Well, and then you were on a trip somewhere and saw some goats, and next thing you know, you're bringing the goats home in the back of your
pig.
Yes, and he went to North Carolina. Our daughter wanted to show a pig in 4-H. She's a very needy child, apparently. She needed a horse and a pig, and we couldn't just get a regular pig. We had to go to North Carolina and get a Kenny Cooney, and they're from New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Breed.
Yeah. People always ask me what a Kenny Cooney is, and the only thing we've got really to point to is that you see the little pig in Moana that's on, that's a Kenny Cooney.
Okay, all right. Well, good deal. And then you got all these animals, and then Jaden left you and has gone on to.
Yes, they're ours.
Yeah, now they're ours.
And we've added sheep to the farm, and now we shear them every year in April. And we've partnered with a mill in Cody, Wyoming, and they take our fleece and they're turning those into scarves and beanies and yarn for us. So
Okay.
out of nowhere, we found I guess a byproduct or a product.
Yeah.
They, you know, we actually have an animal that's not just eating.
Yeah.
Making value products, yes.
So how many shearings does it take for them to make a garment?
We usually, since we only have 3 sheep, we take them 2 years worth of fleece. We take them 6 fleeces.
Okay.
And we get about 25 items back, plus yarn.
Okay. More than I thought then. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because they're blending it a little bit with the Wyoming sheep, the merino, and there's another one that they use because it's all about the fiber length. So by adding a longer fiber length to ours, it's like a 50-50 ratio. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all have learned a lot, haven't you?
We have.
That's really kind of the draw of all of us. Just finding new things to learn about.
Yeah. Well, that is something. I think if I told Debbie we were going to go get a horse or a cow or anything, I think she would be like, "We're what? No." So then where did the idea for the vineyard, where did that come from? Because that's been a lot of a labor of love and investment and work, energy. So kind of talk about that a little bit too, because you didn't start with just like a few grapevines, plants.
Really, the whole thing with farm here, it really didn't. It's not like we sat back one day and looked way out and looking in the future and said, that's what I want a vineyard someday, and I want all these animals. I want that's our goal. If we just progressively work straight toward that goal. I think Shannon said it best earlier today that it's been a long and winding road getting to this point.
I think that's what everyone's life looks like when you look back.
Right.
There's not a straight path. You think you know what you want, but God knows better, and He takes you on a winding road, and it just all fits together like a big pieces of puzzles that led us here.
The road kind of winds around, and we pick up little pieces of things that seem to fit along the way, and then by the time you get to the end, you've got a collection of seemingly unrelated things that seem to work together to do something you want to do.
But the vineyard, the concept started like 2020.
Yeah.
My father had passed away in 2019. And so we're in the middle of COVID, shut down, and we're all just kind of stuck in our houses. And we started thinking about the future of the farm. What could we add to the farm? He had always had the farm and row crops. It was my grandparents' farm, went to my mom, and now it's ours. And what could we do to value add? And Keith was just sitting on the beach one day in Destin.
We were sitting on the beach in Destin one day, under a umbrella, staring
at the ocean.
And I leaned over to her and popped the question about hey, what about a vineyard? What do you think about that?
It's like, no, what? Why would we want a vineyard?
And then we go on vacation. Since there really aren't any vineyards here where we live, there might be just one or two, but there's really not anything to speak of within an hour or 2 hours drive.
When we travel,
we like to go
something
visit.
that we stop at.
It's something we can do somewhere else we can't do at home.
We don't do many amusement parks anymore. So, we
like the experience of going to them.
Taking the tours, behind the scenes tours.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're just been fascinated by the whole process of really how they do it,
how they make the wine, how they grow the grapes.
Right. And it's just that's really when we entered into the idea of that was just really enjoying the process and learning about the process, and really we weren't really very knowledgeable about drinking wine or what wine is supposed to taste, what good wine is supposed to taste like, or we're not very sophisticated with that, but we are acquiring some better skills along the way.
Or even how to keep a grapevine alive.
Yes.
We had no idea.
Well, and how many grapevines did you start with to begin with?
150.
Yeah.
150. So it's not like a little crop. That's a lot of grapes.
Yeah, 150. We planted those first. We call that our first 3 rows.
Uh-huh.
And when they come in, just for your viewers to know, they look like a stick, like a dead stick. They're about
No
that,
leaves,
about
yeah.
4 inches tall.
Yeah, but they're about 4 or 6
And
inches
then they
tall.
have a root system that's about 12 inches long. And so you think, what is happening? They're sticks. So they just come in a box, wrapped up in newspaper.
Dead sticks.
Dead sticks.
And
I'm sure when you first opened it, you thought, we've ordered a bunch of dead
sticks. And they just had a little tag on them telling us what they were. At that time, we had 2 varieties. And he had to dig all the holes. We started out with my dad's old tractor, digging holes with the auger, with his post hole digger.
Yeah, and we decided that
there's got to be a better way.
So,
but we got those planted. And then the next year, we ordered 500.
That's good. Wow.
And
then y'all would planted these all yourselves. You didn't hire it done. You did it yourself.
Ourselves, including our daughter. She was out there. And so she was a big help helping us get all that done. But just trying not to kill each other with an auger and a post hole digger. Because I would have to stand on the post hole digger while it was going in the ground. Yeah. All 650 times, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. So, did you ever think at any point during that time that you're like, this is not what I signed up for?
Yes.
Yeah, many times.
And so then it takes them about 2 years to get, we have a high wire system. We don't do the standard VSP. We went with the high wire, which is at 6 feet. We decided that we didn't want to be bending over picking grapes. We wanted the grapes at eye level.
Right, smart.
And so we did all high wire, which is non-traditional. But it takes a couple of years for the vine to get to the top. I'm the vine dresser. And so you'll take the vine and lay it down that second year to the left or to the right, whichever way I want to go. And then the next spring, it takes another whole year, it'll send out another shoot and I'll lay it down the opposite direction so that you end up with a wire.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's how it runs along the cord at the top and produces berries on both sides. So you're trying to keep them alive, you're trying to get them to the top, you're trying to get them trained.
And then, of course, those first few years, you don't really know all the things that are going to try to kill it, and so you got these funguses and diseases that are trying to kill it.
He's in charge of
spraying it, and then you have the invasion of the Japanese beetles every July.
Oh yeah.
And now they're not too big a deal.
But when you only have 3 leaves on a grapevine.
Yeah, when your little sprout only has 5 leaves, and the beetles
they got 3 of them.
Yeah. It's a big deal. But now it's not so much.
So we have 4 varieties now. We have the Catawba, which is an American grape like a Concord. It's a real pretty pink grape. We have the St. Vincent. It's a dark purple grape, and Missouri likes to claim the St. Vincent. And then we have a Villard Blanc, which is just a basic white grape. And then we have a Traminette, which Indiana likes to claim as their state grape. So a lot of the vineyards in Indiana, you'll find Traminette, but you really don't think anybody around here or in Kentucky has those. So we're a little different. We're doing different kinds of grapes and enjoying the variety that we have.
So are you going to add more to the vineyard as far as grapes, varieties, or just focus on those for right now?
We have room, probably for another couple hundred.
Yeah, it depends on what time of day you ask her. If you ask her in the morning when it's cool and pleasant out there, really enjoying it. Oh, why don't we plant 2 or more rows?
We have room.
But if you ask her in the afternoon when the sun's beating down and it's like 100 degrees, she says, no, good morning.
She's not for it anymore, huh? I get that, yeah. Well, of course, we came out for the wine tasting, which was so much fun. You had a good group of people there. It was really nice, and you've done a great job. So also, and what I liked about that too was hearing about Keith being the engineer and all the calculations and the beakers. But give your take, Shanna, on the tasting part and how he set that all up. Or if you want to talk about that.
He has a big little chemistry lab set upstairs in our second kitchen, and it's all spread out everywhere. We have beakers everywhere, and little pH devices. He has to test for pH. He has to test for titratable acidity. So he's got this big tall thing that he squirts things into to test. I mean, it's just everywhere. And so when we're trying to decide what taste we like, we call it a bench test. And so he'll set up 5, 6, or 7 different little beakers of different levels of sweetness. And we just try them and smell them, and I don't know.
And she'll land on that.
I'll say number 2, and he'll say number 5, and then we have to negotiate.
Kind of do a little mixture to get it where you both agree.
Yeah.
Well, from the tasting the other night, you guys did a great job on what you selected. That's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when you look at, of course, you just retired, like, was it a year ago, Shanna? Something like that? Or is it?
3. So I'm now able to spend more time doing this.
Yeah.
That was hard, but I couldn't.
Right. Right. So that just means there's so much more you could accomplish now. You're like, right.
Well, it's like flipping our barn. It was built in the 1970s. And so not only are we having grapes we're growing, we're trying to get this barn flipped, so that we can have people come visit us in the future once we get our license.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, tell them about our son. Our son.
Oh yeah, our son. I like his favorite saying is that we're trying to we're building the airplane while we're flying it.
It's what now?
We're building the airplane while we're flying it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just so much to do all at one time, so that they end up at the same place at the same time.
Sure.
Having a bunch of wine and no place to sit isn't any good, or having a place to sit and no wine isn't. So we're having to, hopefully they intersect at the right time. And I think that's what we managed.
Well, the way you've done everything else and the way it's all intersected, I don't really see that being an issue. I think it'll work out fine for sure. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
So you've had people that have come and looked at your animals, your farm, and that's your winery, your vineyard also. So what's the overall plan? What do you see like 3 to 5 years from now?
We've added one camping spot already. We have a camping spot. We've partnered with Harvest Host.
Okay.
They are nationwide network, and apparently Paducah must be a major intersection, because we get people from California, Texas, Florida, Michigan. They all come right through Paducah, and we're having about 3 nights a week. People are staying here in the vineyard.
Really? Okay.
And so we have a 30 and a 50 amp hookup, and we provide the water hookup. And so when they're here, they get to tour the vineyard, and then they get to see all of our animals up close and personal if they want to.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really helped us in meeting other people from around the world, and it's slowly introducing them, to us.
There's that aspect of it, and then, but as far as what we'd like to see this place turn into, ideally 3 to 5 years from now, we hope we'd be up and running with a winery, the tasting room, getting regular visitors coming in and enjoying
being open maybe on the weekends.
Yeah, on the weekends, and play like a 3-day a week kind of thing.
I'd like to have a band every now and
right on the
then,
weekends.
that you can just come and sit and bring a lawn chair and listen to a band. I think that
And you've got the perfect setup for that as well. Yeah, with all the area out in the front of your shop. And then Keith, I wanted you to talk about your shop, how the original building, and then what all you've done. And what I like about your farms too is not just what all you guys have done and the work, but also the history. And then Shannon, when you shared about the history of your farms, that was fascinating. I mean, that really was. And to have the records that go back to the 1800s, that's pretty cool.
She's the 7th generation of her family to live on Social Security here.
That's wild, yeah.
Goes back to the original
1818, Jackson purchased, when they purchased this land from the Chickasaw Indians. My fourth great-grandfather purchased a land grant of 160 acres for $40. And so all this land around here was dealt out from the governor at 160-acre land grants. And so that's just fascinating to me, and that we love the name of Soldier Creek. We love being on Soldier Creek and my ties to Soldier Creek.
Yeah.
The little church that sits, our property goes around the oldest church in the Jackson Purchase called Soldier Creek Primitive Baptist Church. And they got their land in 1830 along with the land grants. All the land grants came out in 1830. And then the church got theirs direct from the Kentucky General Assembly of Kentucky. It didn't come from the governor. The General Assembly gave them 7 acres. But my fifth great-grandfather on the other side of my mom was the first pastor there. So there's long ties weaving
both sides
through my family to that church. And so they organized in 1820, which is what I find fascinating. So you've got the purchase in 1818, you've got the church starting in 1820, and by 1830, they had property on this creek. So we just want to celebrate Soldier Creek's history in the area, so that everybody likes to know where they come from, I think. And so it's fascinating to us. Yeah. And you can talk about this barn.
Yeah, the barn was her father, Shanna's dad, and his brother built this like in the late 70s. And he just used it to house his tractors and some tools.
Like a tractor shed.
Yeah. In the fall, he would kind of reconfigure a little bit in here, and he put some things up he could hang his tobacco to air dry.
And there was no walls, only a roof.
It's just a roof and posts, around.
Pole barn.
With no sides. And so by the time 2020 rolls around, and we're thinking about what we're going to do, this vineyard concept, and we're going to need a building to do something in. We were
going to bulldoze it.
We were going to doze it down and maybe build something else. But we really didn't want to do that. We wanted, like I said, part of our whole thing that we enjoy is kind of the history, family, and our community, and all those things kind of roll together. It has value to us. It means something for us. And so we wanted to keep this building. Even though we probably spent as much money keeping this building as we would have spent if we built a brand new one. It has more meaning to us, and we really. So now we've gone in and put a new roof on it, and sides all around, and finished out on the inside with board, poplar board finish on the walls.
I've done a great job with it. Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yes.
You have a bathroom now. You've got the kitchen.
So,
he would be very proud, I think to see it.
A lot of times we imagine what her dad would, what he would do if he was here. I think he'd really prefer.
Well, I think he'd appreciate the fact the beams and stuff in the post are original, right?
Yes.
The center part, yeah. So the fact that you kept that and was able to make it modern and still have that history like you're talking about, that's interesting. Yeah.
And we also saved what we call a stripping barn. Keith actually helped my dad build that in 1992, a week before we got married. I was so thankful they didn't get into a fight the week before we got married.
That was a good test. That's right.
Yeah, I think the marriage is conditional upon completion of the building. I'm not sure.
Dowry. It's probably the dowry.
Yeah.
But it was a stripping room where we would strip tobacco, in the season. And so we completely gutted it, refinished the inside, put all the outside, and a roof on that. So,
for everybody that don't know what stripping tobacco is, that's where you take the tobacco that you've been hanging in the barn for a while, and it's all cured out, and you take it and you flip the leaves off the stalk, and then you take them and you wrap them up and you prepare them for sale.
And so that's where our processing takes place. Our fermentation.
I think I told y'all the best time for me fall in Kentucky is when they're firing the tobacco and the smell. That's a sign of fall for sure. But, growing up in Arkansas, we had farms, but we always had like, beans and cotton and then wheat in the winter, but we didn't have tobacco. So that's been an interesting crop to see. And the amount of work that goes into it is people don't understand or realize how much goes into a tobacco crop.
It's very labor intensive. And, back, 25 years ago, most of the tobacco was grown by a series of small farmers. And each little plot of land had so much, tobacco that was allotted that could be grown. Right. And so it was just a way for small farmers to have a cash crop. And but I'm not sure how many years ago now, maybe 10 plus years ago, 10, 15 years ago now, they did away with that program. And so really most of the tobacco is consolidated, just a few large farmers now, not small farmers.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the smaller farmers have definitely disappeared for sure, all over. So now when you guys also have an idea or you see something that interests you, you guys are not scared to just pack up and go check it out yourselves. You love to travel. Who's the biggest travel bug of the two of you?
I think he's going to do this.
She is excellent at planning trips and ferreting out details and information that places we're going to go. She studies the area. She makes it very enjoyable for me.
He teases that I already have gone before we ever leave the house.
So when you go, you're like, yeah, this is what I was thinking. Yeah. No.
Yeah, there are vacations on the shelf that we've never taken that are fully planned that
I could just pull out.
Yeah.
So what's next on the trip?
Well, this fall we are going with a friend on the Seine River on a river cruise in Paris. Going from Paris. He's always wanted to see the Normandy beaches, so we're going to go see the Normandy beaches. And then one of the days there's a trip to a honeybee farm.
Okay. No.
He's always
never thought about that coming up. Yeah.
He's wanting bees. We tried one time, and our hive left us. They didn't like us, the home he made for them. But he's got all the equipment, so bees are probably next.
Okay.
Like this fall, he started making maple syrup. He started reading about it, and we built a sugar shack. And he made how many gallons? 90 bottles of maple syrup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't wait to see what the future has. Guys, I'll tell you, John's going to put up your information on the screen. So if people want to contact you or, about coming to visit and tour or just find out more about you, John's, I think the information should be up now. It is. And so kind of go over that, Shanna, and tell people to reach out and find out more about y'all.
Post videos all the time on our Facebook page, Thornberry Farms -KY. Just little snippets of what's going on in the daily life of this farm. This week it was about netting our grapes so the birds don't eat them all. And then just they can call or text. We're happy to do a farm tour. And then if anyone's out there in Harvest Host, look us up. You'll find us at Soda Creek Vineyard and spend the night or two here with us.
All right, great. Well, listen, guys, our time is up, but thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you doing this because I know your first podcast and you weren't sure about it, but hey, you did a great job. I had no doubt we would not be like at a lull about what to talk about. That's never happened. So I'm glad you did this and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right, good deal. Well, that concludes our episode of Lux Life Discovered, and we will see you soon.
Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered. Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.